We continue to be really thankful for the STARS donors who stepped up and allowed us to buy the theater. I cannot imagine what we would be talking about now if that piece of downtown had been taken away from the Avalon Foundation. And subsequent to that, we have had our 2 strongest years ever from a performance standpoint, from a fundraising standpoint. We can speak to some real success about being able to, having been able to really sort of shore up the guts and the less glamorous pieces of this building. I assure you we have done a lot since we've acquired it, even if you can't see it, and that we're really looking forward to restoring some of the more visual things in the next year and a half.
We looked at our needs. We looked at the building, and decided that what we were going to do is essentially get the really big deferred maintenance stuff out of the way.
We've taken some really major steps to address especially the most sort of cataclysmic deferred maintenance. There was a lot of talk at the time about sealing up the bricks, and they are all now sealed up.
Every brick on the building has
not
been
leaking in anymore. Which
if it had been left any further, we would have major structural problems with the building. It was a
major
really serious problem.
I think that there are people who say, gosh, I thought the Avalon took over. We're not really seeing huge renovation happening. And I guess one of the things that I'm saying is we're doing some pretty huge renovation, and some of that stuff is in the guts and the structural pieces. Is we're doing some major structural improvements and upgrades to the fly area, which is the rigging, the theatrical rigging that is backstage that lets us fly in the movie screen or lets us adjust the curtains, and has all the light bars on top of it. And that system had not received major renovations since the 1930s. So you're talking about really old systems holding up tons of weight.
Literally, some of the bars have a ton hanging from them. There's been a lot of stuff that you don't really see the result of, and we're finally at the place where we're starting to do some things that the public will take note of. Now we're at the point where we are working on a project to completely renovate the bathrooms in the basement. It's one of the things that people like the least about the Avalon. We are going to repaint the entire common area, lobby, all the way through the building with a scheme that is more in keeping with the Art Deco history of the building. We are working on a project to now that there's not water coming through the bricks, we're going to fix the plaster on the inside of the theater and completely repaint the theater, which is a pretty big project, and again will be something that when you walk in you will definitely
working in tandem with the bathroom. We're really exploring things that we can do to the balcony to make it safer, to improve some of the sight lines. Again, that's another area where we wish we could make the seats bigger or make that a little bit more comfortable, and we're exploring ways to do that, but we're really constrained by the space and we don't want to lose seats.
The Avalon model has been the same from when it was a tiny nonprofit to today, and it is essentially that we expect our earned income to cover the direct costs associated with our programming. And we do a little bit better than that. That's great, but effectively that is what happens. And then the contributed income that we receive covers the labor and overhead to make all that happen. It has been a winning formula because every time we get a new dollar of contributed income, we turn it into $2 more of earned income. And that has fueled the growth. We put on 150, 160 shows a year.
Like, we're really operating at almost operational capacity all the time. Like, there's not a whole lot of time that any space here is dark. We've got a lot of programmed hours in this building all the time. We have been so incredibly successful with our programming. We're really working to shore up the bricks and make the facility sustainable into the future. And right now, what we're spending a lot of time on is really focusing on growth opportunities. It's new partnerships, it's new venues, it's ways to be able to do more of what we're doing.
2 years from now, we can have the review, and
It'll
you
be
will
fun.
see an awful lot of growth happen.